Welcome to Beetroot Burger. This is genuinely one of the nicest burgers we've ever come up with. And normally we go and I get beetroot from the shop and I get all the ingredients from the shop. But today we have the absolute treat of going picking beetroot from our own farm. So this is organic, and not only organic, it's regenerative. So we're focused on getting more soil biodiversity, and we're kind of not tilling the soil or not opening the soil to release carbon. So it's really, really fun. We'll tell you more about in videos to come. Okay, these are one of the best burgers ever. So when we wrote our first cookbook, this was the recipe that people went on about and on about and on about. So we're doing a simpler 10 ingredient version. We're gonna use fresh beetroot, and they're beautiful in that they're like meaty, they're compacted, they're just a glorious burger. And we're gonna serve it with some of our roasted red pepper hummus. We're gonna use some fresh tomato from the farm, and they're gonna be epic. So no burger is complete without a tomato, so welcome to the tomato tunnel. Rooting through, these are various different, so these are Oxheart tomatoes, and these are Brandywine over here. So I'm gonna just get a nice ripe. Brandywine is a variety that at one stage was probably developed to be the perfect size of a burger. So here's a nice one here. Organic, regenerative, and perfect for a burger. So in terms of fresh herbs, we're gonna go with basil. This whole book, and I guess part of our philosophy, is all about using what you have and what's in season. So just grown beside the tomato vines here, we have basil. And I've just learned, even though we've been using basil for years, that we harvest the top third of basil, so then it can regrow. Okay, so this is oak lettuce. We have literally 1,000 heads here now. They're like at perfect top. The nice way to harvest the lettuce is just go in underneath it. And voila, there she is. One beautiful oak lettuce. Okay, sir, so for our salad, we want to get a cucumber, and anyone who's familiar with organic veg, you get all sorts of shapes and sizes. So this is some of today's veg that's harvested. And over here is the freebie box, and some of, like, look at that for a cucumber. Like, that is just off the charts. Oh, it's nice getting hands in the soil, especially before brekkie. So just back from the farm, and welcome to the studio. So welcome to Beetroot, Walnut and Feta burgers. So obviously the Feta is vegan. You can use normal Feta if you're that way inclined. So first step, one of the main binding agents and fat in this burger is that we're gonna use cashew nuts. So we're using 30 grams of cashew nuts. We're just gonna soak them so that just kind of make them easier to break down in boiling water. So we're gonna leave these to soak for 10 minutes. So I've got a handful of walnuts, approximately 70 grams, just crush them up into a baking tray. We've preheated our baking tray to around 180, 200 degrees, even 220 will do fine. And we're just gonna bake them for about 6 to 7 minutes, even 10 minutes, just to kind of release a bit of moisture and just accentuate the flavors. I know I said preheat the baking tray, but I meant preheat the oven. Okay, while our walnuts are in the oven, take your beetroot, give them a good clean, because there's gonna be soil for them. And we're just gonna top and tail them. So just take off the kind of, like almost like the little, what I often, maybe it's not so nice to say, but chop the little rat's tails off the beetroot, and then chop the top off them. So I'm leaving the skin on these because I find a lot of the minerals are in the skin of it, and you know, we just pick these beetroot and they're looking good nick. So take grater, ideally go with the finer side if you can, and just grate your 2 beetroots. So while the pan's heating up, just chop your scallions, also known as green onions. We have 5 of them. The reason why we're using scallions instead of onions is just scallions or spring onions can be eaten raw, and they're just quicker cooking. If we use onions, we're just gonna eat longer. And we wanna make these quick, easy dinner. So scallions, take the beetroot. Get a nice pinch of salt in there. So the reason we're cooking the beetroot down is just to remove a bit of the moisture and just to accentuate, get a little bit of char flavor in there. So just taking the walnuts out, we bake them for about 6 to 7 minutes, just until they're ever so slightly golden. Okay, with the cashews, just make sure to give them a good rinse because the bitterness can come out of them when you soak. Okay, so we're gonna start loading this all into the food processor. We have our soaked and drained cashew nuts. I have 50 grams of breadcrumbs. We're using panko if you can get them. 40 grams of grated vegan cheese. Okay, we've our roasted walnuts. We've our beetroot and scallion mixture. One of the beauties is this is like beetroot's really high in nitric oxide, which helps dilate blood vessels, enabling better blood flow. Helps with anyone with ED, erectile dysfunction. It's quite different from traditional burgers. Okay, we've got lemon. I'm just gonna go with juice of about a quarter of lemon. So just catch any pips. Little sprinkle of oil, about 1 tablespoon. We go with a generous pinch of salt. We can season it as they go. So we have our freshly picked basil. In the recipe it says mint, but use whatever fresh herb you have in season. So just chop it up just to make it easier. If you are using a stalk, just again chop it nice and finely. Food processor will do it for us anyway, but you might as well help it out a little bit. Okay, so with blending it, you don't want to blend it until it becomes homogeneous. You ideally want to just pulse it until it reaches that texture where it comes together, but you can still get those walnut chunks. That color is just so beautiful. So as with any cooking, really important part is just to taste and season as you go. So just taste it. First thing you're looking, is the salt level correct? Because no amount of fancy cooking techniques will make up for an under-seasoned dish. Once you're happy with salt, look at acid, because the acid will help cut through the fat coming from the nuts and the vegan cheese. And if you're happy with that, boom, let's go. We've preheated our oven to about 200 degrees Celsius, and we're gonna shape these into 2 burgers. Okay, they look beautiful. Love the shape on them. The color is so vibrant and just magnificent. So we've preheated the oven, not the baking tray, to 180 degrees Celsius, and we're gonna bake for about 25 minutes. So we baked the burgers for about 25 minutes. While they were in the oven, we made a quick salad. Again, I'm using the we. I made a salad. As an identical twin, it's new to use the singular. So I made a salad, simple oak leaf lettuce from the farm. We used tomato from the farm, cucumber from the farm, and a little bit of red onion. Made a little dressing, 3-2-1, 3-part oil, 2-part acid, 1-part sweet. Here we go. Voila, there's our burgers. And the beautiful thing about these is that they really hold their shape. Like they're serious looking burgers. Okay, perfect way to top the burger is with, we like to do it with hummus, or else this spicy red pepper pesto is next level. Just pop a nice dollop on top. If you can, top with a few little leaves of basil from the farm. In terms of salad, that's chunks of those tomatoes that we picked earlier. Okay, this is such a good recipe, and if anyone's wondering where we got the recipe from, it's our new book, The Veg Box. Do check it out, it's so good, and thanks for all the great comments. Great to see. Okay, here we go, without further ado. Oh, they really hold their shape well, look at that. Wow, so much flavor. I love the fact that it's crispy on the outside, it's soft, it's moist, there's like walnuts coming in, there's a slight note from that vegan cheese. It's magnificent. Such a good recipe. And these are possibly the nicest tomatoes I've had in years. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this. Do check out our book, The Veg Box. We're super proud of it. We genuinely think it's our best book we've written yet. Wishing you a wonderful day. Bye.